I am going to start with our guest, David Jones. Dave?
Good morning. Good to be here.
Nice to see you. He's one of our regular guests from Queen City Toastmasters.
All right.
Our guest, Nicole. Nicole, can you tell us where you're from?
Good morning, everybody. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, District 35, F2 Area Director. Thank you, Eric.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome from away from Wisconsin. Our regular guest today, Pam Gorman, our immediate past district director. I know she's looking forward to this meeting today. All right. Well, we had another guest, but I think their guest just went off. Okay. All right. I don't see Cecilia on. So, Kate, did you want to cover the invocation?
I would like to, and I'd like to call it a toast this morning. This is a poem we all know from Robert Burns. Should old acquaintance be forgot and ne'er brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgot in days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for days of old lang syne. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. So that was a good one. Is that from New Year's Eve? That sounds like from New Year's Eve.
It is normally said, yes, on New Year's Eve.
It's the most known poem from Scotland, and it is known worldwide, especially on New Year's.
I didn't know Robert Burns said that.
Good ear, Eric.
If some of the members would learn how to Zoom, they could show up and it wouldn't be so sad. There wouldn't be so many old lang synes.
Aw, we won't forget them. They'll come back, or we'll get together in person again someday soon.
Or they learn how to Zoom.
Thank you, Larry, for putting the agenda in the chat. Eric, should I jump in?
Chat room is not active for participants, so you might check that, please.
Oh, I can see it. All right.
I can see it, but I can't select.
Oh. All right, Larry, maybe check into that, and we'll get rolling with our meeting. And our theme for the day, I can see some of us are, go ahead, announcements. You want to do Eric first?
Yeah, well, first we'll do the pledge, and Marco has
what am I
two
thinking?
announcements.
I'm so excited to get to Scotland okay, let's get back to New York, back to Lockport, back to Lockport. Eric, you should just stay in charge. Go ahead, Mr. President.
And we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before I jump back to you, Kate, Margot, you have a couple of announcements.
Two announcements. Number one, our Lions Club is doing another chicken barbecue this Saturday. We have about 50 tickets left if anybody wants a $10 chicken dinner, full meal. And number two, for those runners among us, there's going to be a 5K race here at the winery. You're going to get to run through the orchard all the way up to the lake Sunday morning, October 18th. Chat or email me and I'll get you the website to sign up. I know Len there might be interested, a couple other people, so join us and we feed you at the end and give you a glass of wine, and we'll have some other events going on. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Margot. I see we have our guest Julio from Mexico City. Good morning, Julio.
Good morning, Julio.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Julio.
Welcome back, Julio. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I
also have two announcements as the Vice President of Education. So I did have that on my agenda first. But again, I was so excited to get to Scotland.
Well, I'm going to turn things over to you right now, Kate, since you're the Toastmaster. So go for it.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So the two announcements I have as VP of E is please save the date. If someone could put this in the chat for October 22nd will be our fall open house via Zoom. That's October 22nd. 2 Thursdays before Halloween, and that will be the theme. But more will be coming from our VP of Membership, Ryan, in the next week or so. The second announcement is a level has been completed. Please join me in congratulating Jill Roaring, has finished level 4 of innovative planning. Nice work, Jill. Right. Any other announcements from the floor today? Any other announcements? Sylvia, oh yes, Madam Treasurer, what possibly could be your announcement?
Dues are due. I have about 20 collected. I received from people, and probably a good another 20 to 25 more to pay. I'm not sure who's still a member, so we'll have to review that list. And Kate, I'm calling you on the carpet. Get to M&T Bank.
You
keep
calling me on the carpet. That's good. I should have done it 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
That's right. Okay, that's it.
Get my
That's
name
the
off that.
announcement.
Okay. Anyone else for announcements from the floor? Okay, then we will get to Scotland now. Let's take a journey today. Bagpipes, kilts, and whiskey is the theme for the day. So we're going to Scotland, of course. And many of you in the club know this is in honor of the Niagara Celtic Festival, which would have been held this weekend here in Niagara County, very near Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is the heartbeat of our county. And we hope that all our guests can visit us in person someday, but virtual we'll have to do. And this year would have been our 20th anniversary. My parents started the festival, and it's turned into an amazing event with almost 15,000 people every weekend. And so sadly, we won't be getting together in the same. It's my birthday this Saturday too. I've been looking forward for years for it to fall directly on my birthday, and well, we'll have the 20th anniversary next year instead. But in any case, there is a lot more to Scotland than just bagpipes, whiskey, and kilts and haggis, but that's a good start. In any case, let's get right to our roles, and we can stay in Scotland for the morning. Our word master today, Mr. Dave Licata. What's our word today? Where is he? Dave, can you hear?
For the day, because I could barely make it out.
What?
Microphone or something on my end is wrong, but here is the word of the day.
There you are.
The word of the day is ethereal.
Ethereal. Ah, good word.
Ethereal. ETHEREAL. It's an adjective. It means extremely delicate and light in a way that seems to be too perfect for this world. I'm going to use it in a sentence. And here's the tie-in, Katie. You're going to be proud of me. The Irish brought their spirits with them from the old world to the new, both liquid and ethereal. Ethereal.
Thank you, David. Excellent word. So many ethereal parts of Scotland here today. Our master is Charlie Deacon. Charlie, will you share your role today, please?
Good morning. My duty today is to count the number of ahs and ums along the way. But I do have to tell you that I'm going to have to leave at 8:15. I have another meeting on another channel, so I may have to be on my other computer. So I'll leave at 8:15. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. We'll try to get your report earlier than that, or maybe you could chat it, send it to somebody. We'll do what we can. You can catch us before you leave. Our grammarian today is Margot.
So we've had our plethora of gunnas, haftas, and wannas. So let's leave those alone for the rest of the meeting. Kate, I loved your heartbeat of our county. So for our guests, grammarian is kind of my thing. I will try to keep my report to under a 5 to 7 minute speech this morning. And it will not be an ethereal report at all, Mr. Licata. Madam Toastmaster.
Excellent, Margot. Our quote master today, Eric. Mr. President, what is our quote for the day? Where did he go? Well, our jester is Tracy, and I thought I saw her on here too, but I don't. Eric dropped off. There he is. He's back. Eric, can you give a quote?
Yeah, I've actually found a Celtic wolf code.
And he's gone again. We'll catch back up to that. I think we'll try to hit the jester and the quote master at the end. Let's keep filling our roles. Our timer today is Samir. Can you share what your job will be, please, Samir? You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, so I will be evaluating everyone for their timing, table topics. The target time is 2 minutes and everyone has plus minus 30 seconds. The same goes for evaluations, and then for the speeches themselves, which are generally 5 to 7 minutes. So hopefully everyone will qualify based on their timing.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Samir. Our quiz master will be Jill. Jill, what's your role today?
My role today is listening with an ethereal quality to try and get everybody else to listen and to test your skills. I will be quizzing you at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am in need of a gesture master today, and that is a role that not all clubs have. We've learned that from elsewhere. I'm not sure, maybe it was Charlie who brought that back from one of his visits to other clubs and looking at body language. Can I have a volunteer from the floor interested by a show of hands who'd like to be our gesture master today and tracking the body language? Show of hands, anybody? Carol, thank you very much. Carol Ann will be our gesture master. And I just described what you'll do, so is that good enough? And you'll report at the end? Okay, great. Thank you, Carol. And our general evaluator today is Jen Zapla. Jen, what is your role?
Yes, I will be evaluating the overall tone of the meeting and the evaluators and yourself, Kate. And so far, I want to report that I'm quite happy with your theme. I got myself ready this morning, got my flask out, which is a good thing because I was out of coffee.
There may or may not be a wee dram. No, there's not in my cup. I have too much to do today, this weekend though. Thank you, Jen. Okay, I don't see Tracy, but we'll roll right into the meeting. We'll have a lot of fun. We don't need to jest right off because we have such a great time. And we'll start with just a bit of setting the stage for today. The wee dram I was talking about is, of course, the whiskey. What's Scotland's biggest export? It's whiskey, as you might expect. It's fascinating what Scotland is all about. For anyone who isn't aware, it's made up of the Highlands and the Lowlands and 787 islands. I have never gone. My mother has. I will someday when we're allowed to travel again. And so we have behind us a beautiful cape that she brought me from Scotland some years ago. And it is the tartan of the Scotland the Brave. And my wedding dress may or may not look like this in November. I'm so excited. In any case, it's one of the few places in the world, for anyone who doesn't know, that you could get a sunburn and frostbite on the same day. Does that sound familiar at all? Well, yes, it does. There's a reason a lot of Scots settled in New York and Canada and so on. And the Erie Canal for our guests is very nearby here. And I will say the Irish built the canal, but the Scots designed it. Scotsmen are engineers and canal builders, and they had to be because of their land. In any case, let's roll into table topics.
I have a Scotch joke when you're ready.
Oh, can we do it after table topics then? Well, if you're ready, you know what, Dave? I could tell you want to be jester, so jive in, Mr. Wordmaster.
There's three guys. The three guys lined up to get guillotined in France. The first one is a Frenchman, and he says, "I am not afraid. You can't scare me. I will lie down on my back and look at the blade as it comes towards my throat." So they pull the string and the thing stops. It jams. Didn't kill him. So everybody jumps up and says, set him free, set him free. And the guy walks, he's not executed. The next guy's Italian, says, hey, hey, work for you, gonna work for me. So he lies down as well. They pull the rope, the blade slides towards his neck, it stops. Another malfunction. He says, they all start screaming, set him free, set him free. So the Italian walks, unexecuted. The third guy's a Scot. He goes for it too, so he lies on his back instead of his stomach, and he looks up at the guillotine, he goes, I think I see the trouble.
Say the punchline again, David. Say the punchline. You broke away just at the punchline.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I see the trouble.
Start from, he lays on his back.
All righty. God almighty. I love it. Let's do it again. The Scot lies on his back just like the Frenchman and the Italian. He looks up at the blade, and before they pull the rope, the Scot says, I think I see the trouble.
Oh.
Because they're engineers.
Engineer, yeah.
He's an engineer. Don't tell him, Scott. Thank you, David.
Well, I'm more out from that.
Thank you. Oh.
Jeez.
Eric has shared his quote in the chat, so take a look at that, everybody. Thank you so much, Eric. He's in and out. But now I will hand over the meeting to Mr. Table Topics Master today, Larry Eggert. Larry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Still trying to work on caffeine, so I'm a little slow on the uptake here. So I like your 3 topics: whiskey, kilts, and bagpipes. And I gave this some thought about how I would handle it with table topics, and I thought I would actually use each of those words to generate a question to each of our contestants. So let's start with Sylvia. Morning, Sylvia. Bagpipes. So when I was younger, a lot younger, my mother insisted I play an instrument, so I learned how to play the organ and fought my mother a little bit on that. And now I wish I would have continued it, because I look back and it would have been fun to be able to play it now. But over your life, have you ever played an instrument? And if not, what is your favorite instrument that you would always wanted to have played? Sylvia.
Well, thank you, Table Topic Masters, for picking on me this morning. And I say picking, that's what I feel like. No, we had a piano in the house. My second sister, who is just 5 years older than I, used to take piano lessons. And I love that piano. I remember the older lady, she probably wasn't that old, but I was only 5 and 4 when she came to the house to do piano lessons. She looked old to me. She would play, and I was so amazed. I wanted to play the piano. My mother said, when you get older. And then she would laugh, because she knew that wasn't going to happen. And Sally stopped playing the piano, and they got rid of the piano before I got the chance. And I was so mad, because I really wanted to play like that older lady. She was really good. The theatrical music that she played was really interesting, and it just caught my eye as a 4-year-old person. So I never did play. My younger one played 2 instruments, violin, which we thought was quite funny because he was a football player. My brother-in-law said no football player ever plays the violin. And he played the trumpet, which was more his style, but he liked the violin. He thought he was going to play like Charlie Daniels right away, and that didn't happen either. And I wish I did take their piano lessons, but I was outvoted. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Our second contestant, David, would you be up to being picked on this morning?
Sure.
He's ready. I'll give you the choice, whiskey or kilts.
I'm gonna have to go with the whiskey.
Ah, good choice. Good choice. By the way,
Amir, can you set your screen to blank until it turns green? Sorry, go on, Larry.
so first of all, I'd like to thank that Margot for the 5K. I ran a lot of 5Ks, but I've never ran a 5K where I get to drink at the end. So I'm definitely going to run that one. It'll, if nothing else, it'll kill the pain. So I went to a police school years ago, and a bunch of us went into this Irish bar that happened to be down the street from our hotel handily. And I had an ethereal moment several hours later when I left. I was actually seeing spirits and other things as I staggered back to my hotel. So David, any funny stories that involves alcohol or other types of whiskey? David.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Greeting, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Sounds like your spirit, ethereal vision came from the spirits you were drinking. I am not a whiskey drinker. Unfortunately, I found that out the hard way. I do a lot of cruises, not this year, obviously, but my daughter and I, when she turned 21, went on a cruise, and we like to sit at the piano bar and have a good time, and we were drinking all night, and people across from us on the other side of the piano, we were giving each other shots back and forth, and they started sending me fireball shots, which I had never had, and I recommend nobody ever have them because they taste like cinnamon, they smell like cinnamon, and they're really good, and you just keep drinking them until, like me, you're in the bathroom throwing up, and I hadn't thrown up in like 20 years, and this is about 2 years ago. I've learned never to drink a fireball again, nor any whiskey. The problem is I am into essential oils and the diffuser, and a lot of them have cinnamon in it. And even just smelling the cinnamon from the diffuser kind of makes me nauseous. And that goes back to my college years when tequila, had way too much tequila at a dorm party, and I was literally sick for days, and I can't even smell it or have a margarita or anything like that. So once you get sick from an alcohol such as tequila or whiskey, it's never the same. Therefore, I can't tell you a lot about whiskey. I just know I don't like it, but I'm always amazed when I meet people, especially, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, women who like to drink whiskey. I can't even taste Jack Daniels or anything. So I'm always amazed and appreciate women who can drink whiskey. Mr. Table Topics.
Don't feel bad, David. I think we all have one or two of those moments. Mine was peppermint schnapps, and the next year I took a candy cane off the Christmas tree and bit into it and ran to the bathroom. So I still can't do candy canes. Fully understand. All right, we have one left. Last person is stuck with kilts. And Nicole, I don't know if you're up to or available to be picked on today.
Sure, I can be picked on.
You sure? Okay, good. Good. Might as well get you involved in the meeting since you showed up.
Yes.
So for kilts, I was trying to figure out a way to think about something regarding wardrobe and maybe wardrobe failure. I was giving a talk many years ago in front of a bunch of kindergarten kids at a school in full police uniform, and I bent over because I dropped my hat on the ground in front of these kids. And I split my pants from my belt line all the way over to my, well, all the way through. Let's just put it. It was wide open. And it was very embarrassing. I put my police hat behind my back and walked around and talked. It was pretty wild, actually. But have you ever had a serious wardrobe failure or worn something that you regret wearing to this day? Nicole?
Thank you, Table Topics Master and fellow members of Toastmasters. I am horrible at dressing, and I just told my boyfriend I need to get new clothes. And I'm like, I don't know what to wear. We're going on vacation, and I'm like, I need everything that I have in my house to take. But it's only one day. So I guess I won't have a malfunction of wardrobe when I'm on vacation if I take everything. But he's like, you can't just take everything. I'm like, I need a pair of clothes for what happens if this happens, if this happens, and if this happens. So 3 different situations. And I'm like, maybe I should go to Goodwill, because New York, I hope, has still Goodwill. And I'm like, we should just go to Goodwill and get me new clothes. Which I believe could be important for us. Because I always go to Goodwill for him, but he never goes shopping with me. So I think I'm just going to take 1 pair of clothes this week on vacation when we visit his parents. Thank you, Larry, Table Topics Master.
Very good, Nicole. Thanks. Mr. Timer, could I have a timer's report, please?
Yeah, everyone qualified. Everyone was under 2 minutes, but over 1:30. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Wordmaster, how did our word do today?
Here's the situation. I'm enjoying excellent audio now. I wasn't earlier, so I have to ask Sylvia, did you use the word of the day because I didn't hear it?
Yeah, she did.
All right, she did?
Hmm?
Okay.
Might not been the right way, but it
Davy
did.
Jones was successful. And Davy Jones used the word, and poor Nicole was not alerted to the fact that at AM Lockport, you have to use the word of the day to qualify for the vote. But naturally, we're going to waive that because we're the friendly, welcoming club that we are.
Thank you. I did not know that I had to use that.
That's
Thank you.
okay, dear. Don't worry about it.
Well, let me turn it back to our Toastmaster.
So all 3 qualified.
Oh. I guess
Thank
everybody
you, David.
qualifies. Did you get all that? Okay, good. I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you so much, Larry, Mr. Table Topics Master. And yes, we didn't inform our guests again that we use the word of the day. That's not practiced in all clubs. So please vote, and we will continue with our meeting. Now, I do have a beautiful video I would like to show you, but I think I will hold that till the end because we do have one longer speech, and we'll see the video later to set the stage or continue setting the stage being in Scotland. So I would like to roll into our speaking portion for the morning. And we have an excellent lineup, starting with Jackie Kenney, who is speaking today, and she will be evaluated by Steve Smith. Steve, are you ready to share your details for Jackie? I can't hear you, Steve.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
You hear me? Jackie is doing dynamic leadership level 2, understanding your leadership style. The purpose of her project today is for the member to identify her primary style or styles, and also for the member to share some aspect of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Her time, Mr. Timer, is 5 to 7 minutes. Do you have the title?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Steve. Please welcome me in joining Jackie Kenney. No drama mama, Jackie Kenney.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Leadership styles. Well, Toastmaster gives us some tools to help us decide what our leadership style might be. There's an evaluation quiz that you take that helps pinpoint things and get you started. and of course some hints and some information that gets you going and lets you know where to focus and where you might need a little more help. At this stage of my life, I'm not sure I need a lot of help. I think the key to your leadership style would be to get comfortable with yourself, to know who you are and the ways that you can challenge other people to become the person that they need to be. Leadership is a way of bringing out the best in those around you, helping them understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and doing it in a way that doesn't make someone feel like you're criticizing them or you are pointing out those weaknesses. Help them formulate ways of meeting challenges and learning to overcome the areas where maybe they aren't as strong as they might be. We've all had those situations happen. I think your challenges as a leader are the same as your challenges in every area of your life. When you're leading a group or trying to bring people forward, for instance, in Toastmasters, if you are the VP of Ed, and I've done that job a number of times, we need to nudge people forward in these programs and help them become as successful as they're able to be. Everyone has a different place in life, and meeting challenges means being the best you can be at the place you're at this time. I think having confidence in yourself is probably the most important quality you need to have as a leader. You need to feel that strength from within that can help you help those around you. Help them come forward, help them be stronger, help them be more organized, if that's what it takes, to meet the challenges that we have in Toastmasters. We're trying to improve ourselves, and in doing that, we're trying to improve the people around us. Sometimes that may seem like an ethereal quality, but it's not. It's a strength, it's a calmness, and I think all of us need to model that for the rest of the group. If you are calm and confident, you're going to help those around you also be calm and confident. Don't give in to the nerves. Don't give in to the self-doubt. Confidence in me may mean confidence in you. I need to know that you're going to be able to do the job that you need to do as a Toastmaster officer or as a member of the club to hold up what needs to be accomplished. We all have our jobs, even in our daily meeting. All of us have something that we need to do, whether it's coming forward and performing in table topics, or being the word master and making sure we pick up every word usage, being the master and challenging people to improve their speaking skills. We all have to do that. We all need to share those qualities with each other, and confidence is what's going to give us what we need to be the best Toastmaster we can be. And being the best Toastmaster we can be will carry forward into the rest of our life. We'll be the best boss, we'll be the best employee, we'll be that person in the community that gives everyone what they need to make all of us more successful. So with no drama, I move through life in a calm and confident way, and I hope all of you do that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Now I'd like to actually take a pause because we do have another guest. Threw me for a loop because we were supposed to have our member Cecilia give us an invocation this morning, and she was unable to attend. And then on popped Cecilia. I thought Cecilia was getting technical assistance from a friend or family member, and then we didn't see our member Cecilia, and we see a guest who by chance also has invocation listed, who's a guest of Moklis. And there is Cecilia, and now I've lost her on my screen, but Cecilia, welcome to our club.
Hi, thank you. Is my audio working?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really thrilled to be here. I know nothing about Toastmasters really, except for what Moklis was saying, that it's just been great. And also I have a big sister who has been telling me I should be in Toastmasters for years and years. And it always takes me a long time to like listen and do what my big sister tells me. But I'm trying to do that better lately these days because she does have good advice. So thank you.
Welcome, Cecilia. It's a pleasure. And you'll get to see Moklis speaking today, so this is perfect. We appreciate it very much.
She heard this story before, so this is her second time.
Oh, fantastic. This is the evolution then, Cecilia, of our speaking. We continue working, continue improving. We are recording this meeting, and we do that so we can continuously watch ourselves and improve, amongst other reasons. So let us roll right into our second speaker. Did I do this order right? Moklis, you have marked down as speaker 3. Can you be speaker 2?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So our second speaker today is Moklis Raman, and his evaluator is Dr. Stevens. Gerald, can you please share with us Moklis' speech?
Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I have the honor today of evaluating a DTM, Moklis Raman, and he is working on Project 10, Inspire Your Audience. His objectives today is to challenge the audience to achieve higher goals, possibly use emotion, anecdotes, maybe add a little drama in there. We'll see. According to what he told me at the time, Mr. Timer, 7 to 9 minutes. And the title, I have it. If you do not, Madam Toastmaster.
I do, and it was on our agenda. I am looking forward to this. Moklis Raman, Competition, Coincidences, and Circumstances. Moklis Raman.
Good morning, everyone, especially Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my honored guests, Cecilia, and also our guests from Milwaukee and North Carolina and Mexico. Thank you. Title of my speech is Competition, Coincidences, and Circumstances. My birth was a matter of competition and coincidences. My parents were eagerly waiting for a daughter when I popped out as a boy. They already had 3 healthy sons and had a daughter who had died at 6 months. Not sure if they were happy or disappointed. My younger brother came a year later. Next, they had twin girls, but both died within a week. Finally, their 9th child was a healthy, strong daughter, and my parents were joyous and excited to live happily ever after. How many kids my parents had? 9. And I was the 5th, just in the middle, Malcolm in the middle. Our life consists of coincidences, circumstances, and a lifelong struggle of competition in the family, at the schools, at work, and finally in the community we live. We all want to have a better home, better clothes, better food, drive better cars while living in a better suburb or town. If we are lucky, sometimes we can move to a new place for a better life, safety, and security. Both my parents were born in British colony of India. I was born in the newly independent country of Pakistan, or more specifically, East Pakistan, which also used to be East Bengal of the Indian Empire. By coincidence, I heard a classmate in my 7th grade who failed to enter the prestigious military academy called the Pakistani Air Force Public School in Sargodha, West Pakistan. I quickly asked my elder brother to submit my application and also take me to all the written, oral, and medical tests. About 50,000 students appear nationwide for the selected entry of 60 pre-cadets for the Air Force. Before entering the military college, I used to get into a lot of troubles, of skirmishes and fights. My parents were happy for me going away to a residential school, but also sad that it was 1,500 miles away from our home. I was quite an unemotional child and probably got this straight even today. My mother encouraged me to dream big and soar high. Our college motto was aim high, and I fell in love with flying. Competition, circumstances, and consequences carried me to change my career to an engineering field instead of becoming a fighter jet pilot. I made the best adjustment to this new direction and gladly graduated at the top of my class in the university. I was offered several prestigious jobs from the top companies of the country as they recruited these students annually. I only worked for a year before I embarked on my higher studies in graduate schools in Canada and the US. In the process, I earned 2 master's degrees and a PhD during my schooling at the University of New Brunswick and finally at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. My friends and I sometimes joke that I am undereducated, overly degreed, because all schooling was in engineering. I was fortunate enough to obtain a senior research position at the Eastman Kodak Company, which was growing leaps and bounds and was one of the most admired companies in the country, or at that time in the world. Since graduating from Engineering University in Lahore, Pakistan in 1974, I already enjoyed a long career of self-supporting graduate studies as graduate scholarship and assistants, as well as jobs at some of the very well-known American companies like PepsiCo, Hewlett-Packard, Owens, Illinois, and beginning with Kodak. What is my life mantra? My life mantra was diligence and hard work to overcome as many obstacles as possible in my way of achieving small steps to successes for a good and better quality of life. I also did a lot of volunteering in service clubs, such as Margot mentioned, Lions, and I think Tracy is in Rotaries, and I think David is in both of them. And professional associations such as the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, American Society for Quality Control, and several others. My deepest sorrows were in my college in Sargodha for not getting a coveted appointment as a student leader, and also sadly not moving up in my career in Kodak. My greatest joys were the birth of my son, Samir, and an excellent opportunity to work as senior project program manager for Hewlett-Packard's ink cartridge manufacturing in Singapore. If you have not been to Singapore, it is one of the best places to go. And they also have the world's greatest orchid garden. which is I'm enjoying last couple of days. I really feel very grateful to a lot of people in my life and also thankful to Almighty God for all the blessings in this humble and simple life. To end, I would like to I enjoy a quote by Sergeant Schultz of the Hogan's Heroes. Some of you remember that comedy satire for the Second World War. I know nothing. I see nothing. And I did nothing. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Moklis. I love hearing about your journey and different levels and layers that you share with us. It's exciting. Our third speaker today switched with Phil Russell, so he'll be speaking in October. He could not attend today, sadly. He very much wanted to attend, loving this topic, but our speaker will be Larry McKenzie. His evaluator is Len Thornton. Len.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Yes, Larry today will be speaking. He gave me his criteria here. Let me find it. He is doing presentation mastery level number 2. And the focus on this speech is effective body language. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. His purpose is to deliver speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he uses nonverbal communication when delivering the speech. I trust you have his title.
I do. Thank you, Len. Our third and final speaker today, Larry McKenzie. I shine, not burn. Larry McKenzie.
Are you ready, everyone? Let's go on a journey, because for the next few minutes, we are going to go on a trip from my childhood to the present day. Say what? Uh-oh. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. I was a young boy, and I was born in the early, or let's just say in the 50s. That was like 1950 something. And I was born to two lovely people. My mom was Irish, and my father was Scottish. So now we had a wee bit of everything going on in our household, because my mom was actually 41 when she had me. I was an only child. So therefore, I grew up quickly, if you know what I mean. And I'll tell you a little story. What happened was my family liked to go to a place in Niagara Falls, and there was a club, and it was called the Mackenzie Club. Go figure, Mackenzie Club. Well, at the Mackenzie Club, they had a bagpipe, a band that used to walk in all of the parades, and they were called the Mackenzie Highlanders. What a perfect place for me to learn how to play the bagpipes. Oh, but here's the thing. You don't just pick up the bagpipe and start to play. You have to learn how to play the chanter. So I received my chanter, which I practice with, and I practice with. And after about the 4th or 5th get together in our meeting, the band leader came up and said, Larry, we have the perfect position for you in our band. And I said, what is it? And he handed me this thing, and it wasn't an instrument. I couldn't figure out why. Maybe it was because I wasn't that great at what I was doing. I don't know. So therefore, that was how my musical career started. And believe it or not, I was pretty put back for the fact that I couldn't learn how to play the bagpipes. And I'm a Scotsman, an Irishman. So what do? I go into the music business. And I've made a career out of that for over 40 years. But how did I get into the music business other than just not learning how to play the bagpipe? Well, back when I was about 21 years old, I bought a tavern. Why would anyone want to be a bar owner? Back then it was a good time. But I have to tell you, as a Scotsman and an Irishman, I learned a couple of things. No matter how much and how hard you try, you can't drink all the alcohol that's in the bar. And believe me, I tried many, many times. And, you know, I must say, it was not an ethereal experience, because there were many a days or nights that just rolled into one another. So what happened from there? Well, I have to say, that's where my musical career started. I hired somebody at the bar to come in and play music. They didn't show up. What was I supposed to do? Well, as they say, our motto as a Mackenzie, right over here, is Lucio non uro, which means I shine, not burn, which is the Mackenzie trait. So what did I do? I filled in. I was the entertainment. Go figure, me. But you know what? It was kind of really fun, and I enjoyed it. So when I sold the tavern, I said, music, that's me. Let's do it. So for almost 40 years, I've been an entertainer up until this wonderful year when in March, they told me I couldn't work anymore. Not that I didn't want to, but they told me, hey, you know what, Larry, take a little break. You need a little break. You've been working all this time. So I said, yeah, why not? I think I will. Well, what ended up happening was during that time, I've been looking around and I found some wonderful things. One of them I found hidden. And it's a perfect theme for this week because bagpipes, kilts, and whiskey. I found a bottle of Crown Royal, and it's from 1966. It was a bottle that was in the trunk that my dad had. And then after my dad passed, I hadn't opened it. I just kind of left it. So I have this from 1966. I may open it this weekend. I hear there's something going on. But you know what? It's Irish part because I had to remember Mom. So we're having a little Irish liqueur whiskey maybe this weekend to enjoy. And with that, I must say, as an Irishman and a Scotchman, all in one, sometimes I don't know whether I'm coming or I'm going, but I know one thing, I will always shine and never burn.
Thank you, Larry Mackenzie. May I have a timer's report, Samir?
I think everyone qualified. I dropped out during the beginning of Larry's speech, so it seemed like he did okay. But Moklis was right at 8 minutes, 7:59. Jackie was at 5:17. So everyone qualified, as far as I can tell.
Wonderful, Samir. Yes, everyone did. I don't have an exact amount of time, but everyone got right on there. And we have, that was 3 DTMs lined up to speak today. Wonderful job to our distinguished Toastmasters. Jackie, Moklis, and Larry, you can vote for your favorite on the screen now, and we will continue. I'm glad you brought up your motto, Larry, amongst all the other wonderful things you did to add to the tone of our meeting today. And the Mackenzie clan motto is, I shine, not burn. It certainly is. From my mom's side of the family is the Scott clan, and our motto is Amo. There's the tartan, and Amo means I love. It's quite appropriate. And moving on, I think we will get into our evaluation portions. I'll save that video for the end since it is already 7:55. And I will also point out, one more thing. Larry has a wonderful t-shirt on. It is our Niagara Celtic Festivals 2020 t-shirt. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Larry. And it is great on the front and the back. There is strength in unity is what the back says. And the knot on the front is a Celtic knot symbolizing wisdom and unity, leadership, togetherness. This year more than ever, we need that togetherness. I have lots of favorite t-shirts.
And the coffee on the floor is what I just spilled.
Oh, I hope you didn't lose a dram out of it. In any case, save that for the weekend. So I'm wearing a t-shirt also. I have many favorites over the years. This was from a couple years ago or last year at All Cut, and it says, locked locked and loaded, locked and loaded, with the Loch Ness Monster peeking out of the top. But locked and loaded, that was a lot of fun. And then there were some other shirts that were all teams. There was Team Ireland and Team Scotland and so on. It was a lot of fun. Okay, back to the evaluation portion. I would like to introduce evaluator 1 today, Steve, evaluating Jackie. Steve, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters guests, and especially Jackie. Your purpose today was to describe your leadership style and talk about leadership styles in general. You did that. Now, what I took out of this is you explained your style. Your main point was to get comfortable with yourself, to have confidence in yourself in order to inspire other people. Now, I summed that up as be what you want to see in other people. That's what I took from your basic presentation, and I believe that's a good style. You achieved your purpose in stating that. Now, eye contact on camera is hard, but you look right at the camera, in essence, so you were looking right at us. So I said, okay, you accomplished your eye contact. Now, I can hear in your voice, you believe what you're saying. Your heart comes through in this, and that's good. However, Dave Lecott and I both preach being more theatrical, so more vocal variety. Share your passion. You believe in this, share that. What else? Oh, in gestures, on camera, and you're sitting there, and I get it, it's a tough medium. You should use a little more gestures in showing what you're doing. But you did achieve your purpose. You explained what you believe, and you obviously believe it. And one more point to emphasize your leadership style, you understanding that I am more than a little bit computer challenged. You emailed me these evaluation sheets so that I would have them, and I appreciate that. But that just backs up what you were saying about trying to inspire other people. You're giving me the tools I need to do this. So all in all, I very much appreciated your speech. I'm glad you brought it to us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Our second evaluator evaluating MOCLAS today is Dr. Stevens. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Pleasure today to evaluate MOCLAS. He started off with a bit of a joke about his family. He mentioned that they were looking for a girl and they got a boy. A lot of times that's different in other families. I know I'm the opposite. I have 4 sisters, nowhere near as big family as he has, and they were looking for a boy at one point, but they didn't quit because I was also the middle child. So me and MOCLAS have a bit in common, which is pretty cool for me. So I enjoyed learning about his family, getting to know him a little better. I hope you all did as well. So he talked about a story we can all relate to. Family. We all have families, good or bad, indifferent. We all have stories about our family. So it was good to hear a little bit about his family. It was a bit of an icebreaker. I don't know if it was intended to be like that, but in the end, it kind of was. And I personally enjoyed it, and I hope you all did as well. Talking about his personal journey, which is a big positive, I would say. Personal kudos to you coming from such a far place and becoming as successful as you are or were here in regards to your career. Jen's been to India, anybody who's been to some third world countries or second world countries, it's a ways, and it is a hard journey to accomplish. So kudos to you for that. In Toastmasters, we're supposed to give some improvement. So for MOCLAS, I would like to see a little more vocal variety. It is early in the morning. Maybe incorporate a few gestures in there. You can kind of plan them out a little bit. It's hard to do again in this media, but it's something you could try to do. And maybe a call to action to explore, as you've explored coming from such a far off land. Some more pros. Your eye contact was pretty good. He was a bit retrospective, talked about a few regrets, a few things he was proud of. Sometimes we get like that, I think, with the COVID. We start analyzing a little bit. And your story was very personal, so I like that. You finished with a quote, which made me laugh as well, so I thought that was good. I have a personal request. I would like to hear a few stories about Singapore. I've never been there. It sounds fascinating. I've had a few of my students go there, and I would love to hear about that in future speeches. You inspired me through your journey, and I hope you inspired others. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Our third and final evaluator today is Len Thornton, evaluating Larry McKenzie. Len.
Thank you, Kate, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, Larry delivered a wonderful speech befitting of his advanced level in Toastmasters. He was to focus on nonverbal communications today, and he was very active. Even sitting down, he had his hands up in the frame all the time. You could tell he was talking with his hands. He gets the honorary Paisan award there. A lot of expressions on his face. His background really added to the speech as well. Having the tartan in the back, wearing the hat, the sweatshirt, even pointing to his logo on his shirt at one point for emphasis, made very effective use of his hands there. He had great eye contact. This is something we're all working on, I know, especially with Zoom, looking at the camera, not looking at the screen or your notes. And it's difficult to do sometimes. We have to really train ourselves to do that. But he was focused on the camera for probably 90% of his speech. Well done there. A couple things to work on. You're telling stories here, maybe a little bit smoother cadence. You know these by heart. You know these stories. You can just go with a word and embellish them and run with them. I don't know if you were looking at notes. It seemed just a little choppy at times. Also slow down just a bit. When you're weaving a tale, you want to pull people in. Sometimes slower is better in that. Also, the speech just kind of begs that you stand up, that we see your entire body and all your gestures, not just your hands and what you can pull up into the camera frame. But you did great gestures for the bagpipes, playing that, the staff moving that around, and your vocal variety was great. A true pleasure to listen to your speech. Well done, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Len. May I have a timer's report, please, from Samir?
Yeah, everyone qualified. Steve was at exactly 2, so was Len. Dr. Gerald Stevens was at 2:45.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Larry will be popping up our voting, so please give your vote for that. Jen is our general evaluator. Have you had enough time to be prepared to give your report?
Sure, I can certainly do that. And if you want me to also call on other reports as well? All right, why don't we start with the other reports, particularly our Masters report, because I know Charlie has to get going a little bit early. So why don't we start with Charlie so we make sure we get him in.
Charlie, are you ready to get, oh, good.
Ready, I'm ready. Trying to get myself on alive here.
You're doing great.
Actually, the ahs and ums, they were great today. There are not many. Larry Eggert, he had 3 ahs, and Gerald had 1, and Larry McKenzie had 2. That was about it. But I'd like to talk to Larry McKenzie. I too wanted to play bagpipes, and I went to take lessons. And after a couple of lessons, both the instructor and I decided, no way. So I went to drums. So that's my report.
All right, well, thank you, Charlie. Apparently, Larry and Charlie don't have enough hot air, so I don't know, maybe Dave, have you ever signed up to play the bagpipes? Maybe you should give it a shot. Okay, sorry guys, just had to get that one in there.
Thank you, Ms. Van Pelt. All right, you don't play the bagpipe, you merely strike a truce. Okay, so you want the word master report. I was hoping that everybody else would get a chance, but that's okay. We'll go ahead. Margot slipped one in, very clever. Jill, Larry Eggert did it in hopes that people would understand to use the word in table topics. That was very nice. Jackie got it into her speech, and Larry McKenzie got it in once. So I want everybody ready. Everybody ready? Ethereal.
Ethereal.
Very good. That's the end of my report, Madam Wordmaster, and I hope when the meeting is over, I can have a brief word with our guest from Milwaukee, because Buffalo and Milwaukee have so much in common. Thanks again.
I think she left, Dave. You have to catch her some other time.
Darn.
It's all right, Dave. It's all right. We'll get her next time. All right. Margot, do you have a grammarian's report for us today?
So how long do you think my report really is?
10 minutes.
It's 2 pages. First of all, Mr. Eggert, we do not pick on, and when we accept doing table talks, it's not picking on. That is most of our life. That's my big bugaboo. That's 3 weeks in a row I've used the same term. Please do not use that. It's an opportunity to speak. 90% of our life is table topics, if you think about it. Anyway, what letter is this? It's the word. We have to end our verbs with this letter. I also, Dave, if you're still here, we are kindred spirits on cruises. I'll have to tell you my drinking stories. I heard I'm like. I heard me and Moclus, should have been Moclus and me. Please welcome me in joining. I think you meant please join me in welcoming. And. But on the plus side, I heard many more good phrases. I will leave the rest of the nonsense aside. Nudge people forward, prestigious, criteria, a wee bit of everything. Stuck with kilts, gave me a very interesting visual. 5 years older than I, thank you very much for using I instead of me. Setting the stage, lose a dram out of it. That was an excellent way to put it. Explain what you believe, which was true, not think. Thank you, Steve, for using that properly. And a bit of an icebreaker, great description of it. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Margot. I want to just let everyone know that the most amazing thing happened while Margot was giving her report. My coffee delivery just pulled up. So I was everything in my power to stay seated, not run to get the coffee and make it. But I'm going to do that right after this meeting. For now, I'm going to go to our quiz master, Jill.
I had to unmute myself there. Okay. First off, Cate mentioned that Scotland was made up of 3 parts. What are they?
Islands, lowlands, and 787 islands.
Very good.
Wow.
Yes. Wonder who counted them. Okay. Moclus.
Same guy that counted the 1,000 islands.
Yeah.
Rounded up.
Didn't do very good, did he? Okay. Moclus. Their 9th child was a daughter. Where was he in the list?
Number 5.
Yes.
He was Moclus in the middle.
Moclus in the middle. And who was his quote that he ended his speech with from?
Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes.
Yep.
I know nothing.
I see nothing.
What year is Larry's unopened Crown Royal bag from?
1966.
65, 66, 66. Wow.
76.
66.
Oh,
66. I got it. I got it.
He's actually thinking of opening.
66 was a very good year.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
Who's he going to share it with? And last, what was Margot's, how was her summary listed as? How many pages of notes did she have?
Two.
That is my end of my quiz.
But I didn't read them all.
Small pieces of paper.
All right. Thank you, Jill. For my report as general evaluator, I want to
Carol, she volunteered as gesture master.
Gesture master. I'm sorry. Thank you for catching that. Carol Ann, are you available to give us a report?
Yes. Well, Cate just shows her enthusiasm for her Scottish heritage with her smiles and her eyes. Dave Jones had a lot of hand gestures, and also Nicole. And Jackie, although she didn't have too many hand gestures, she had very good eye contact and a lot of facial expressions. And of course, Larry Mackenzie just shows his enthusiasm with his eyes and some hand gestures. And and Steve also, when he's talking, uses many hand gestures. And I just wanted to mention one of my good friends is taking bagpipe lessons. And although she's played other instruments, she said it's the hardest thing ever to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. All right, now I'm going to go ahead with my general evaluation. So I will start by evaluating our Toastmaster today. Cate, I have to be honest, I got a little bit nervous over the weekend. I went to look and see what the schedule was, where I was on the schedule, and it wasn't up yet. And I was like, oh no, but you did come through. You put the schedule online a little bit late, but it was there, and we all filled roles. Everyone seemed prepared. I was particularly pleased that our evaluators today had spoken to the speakers or received their evaluation forms. Everyone was working from Pathways, had a project that they were actually working on. So I think that's a really big deal. I know it doesn't happen at every meeting. And today I thought we did a great job setting an example for future meetings. So everyone remember to do that going forward. Good job, guys. Overall, all three of our evaluators also gave positive feedback as well as some rooms for improvement on many different things. Steve, one interesting note for you. I thought it was funny because you used all these setting an example, and during your speech when you were talking about setting an example, you were giving the example using these hand gestures and using your vocal variety. But the one that you didn't set an example quite well with was eye contact, because you were looking at your notes for a lot of it instead of actually making the eye contact. So I know that's a note we all need to work on, but I wanted to point that out to you. Gerald, the one note I had for you, you did give a lot of great feedback. Just be careful how much you're responding to what you felt about the speech versus actually giving the feedback for improvement. I think you did an okay job there, but just be careful because I know sometimes the evaluations toe into what our personal response is, but how we felt about the particular speech or what we want to say about it in response to it. Overall, Cate, I think the meeting went very smoothly. You filled all the roles. At the beginning, you definitely were rushing a little bit more. I think people had dropped off and maybe you got a little bit nervous, but as the meeting progressed, you got more comfortable and slowed down. And when you got into that rhythm, the meeting came together much more smoothly. So excellent job to our Toastmaster today, and I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. And I have to admit, I sent a schedule out through December by email only. Eric, our esteemed president, has been the one updating the website. So thank you, Eric, for keeping me on track, helping me on track. I have a lot going on, and he's an awesome, awesome president and friend for keeping me together. So just a couple more things about our theme, since we do have time now. Thank you for those of you who joined us this morning. So Larry Eggert, our Table Topics Master, mentioned the kilt, and then it veered into another direction. So the kilt isn't worn in Scotland too often. If you go to Scotland expecting people to be wearing kilts, you will be dismayed. They do not. Similar to here, it is a celebratory thing for weddings, for Burns suppers. It's made out of 4 yards of fabric, and that's a whole speech of its own that I might share someday. In Scotland, some more tidbits that could be in our quizzes, if I had given it earlier. There are over 3,000 castles in Scotland. There are over 3,000 golf courses in Scotland. Golf was invented in Scotland. So those are some fascinating tidbits as well. I'm going to share my screen and show you a couple of minute video that hopefully inspires you to travel there if you haven't already. Maybe a quick show of hands. Who has been to Scotland already on screen? Who has been to Scotland? Looks like we have a couple.
I've
Maybe
been to New
more.
Scotland.
Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland. There were quite a lot of Scots who settled in that most eastern part of Canada. It had so much in common, the fishing and so on. We've heard a lot from Larry about that. So that's interesting. Let's see if I can share my screen. And there's a couple minute video that we can just listen and watch to end our meeting today. And I'll hand it back over to Mr. President after the video. Let's get this going. All right.
Does anyone?
Can you hear it?
There we go.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
All right, so we'll get back to the meeting. I hope you could hear that. At least you could see it, and it will wrap up our meeting. I'll hand back to Mr. President Eric Schneider for our awards to welcome our guests and wrap up.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Before I get to the winners this morning, I would like to invite our guests to give their feedback on the meeting. And on my screen, I'll start on my left, Pam. Pam's right next to my screen. Pam, how'd you like the theme today?
I always love coming to your club, and the theme was really fun today. I loved the video at the end. It was fantastic. Always seeing you, and really grateful I didn't get called on today, even though I could have answered every one of those table topics questions enthusiastically. Thank you for inviting me, Eric.
Thank you. David Jones, our returning favorite guest from Twin City. Dave?
I enjoyed the theme. In fact, I was going to challenge y'all to do more themes. I didn't actually know you did themes, but ours was the masquerade the other day.
Yes.
And Target frowns upon this mask when I go in there because evidently it doesn't cover everything you needed. But this month we also did childhood cancer awareness, where we all wore yellow and gold. We talked about it. Coming up in October, we're doing, everybody's going to wear pink for Pink Breast Awareness. We're going to have a Halloween at the end of October. And then, I don't know if you all do it, but we do Legends of Queen City, where all of our top speakers who are no longer with us come back and do a speech. And it's going to be really easy on Zoom. We have a guy who does a TEDx. So we do that once a year. And so those are our themes. And I appreciated y'all theme that you keep it all together with the table topics and everybody's kind of talking about the same thing. So it was a good job today.
Thank you for coming, Dave. Well, can you send us the information about those dates if you can?
Yes.
Thank you. Julio, how'd you like our meeting this morning?
It was an Ethereal experience. I enjoyed this experience. I'm coming for learning more about leadership and communication. I will come back in the future for another great experience with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Julio. We look forward to having you again. And our guest, Cecilia, Mokla's guest, did you like our meeting today?
I really liked it. There's a lot of details and things that are going on in masters and madams, and I'm like, lots of details and structure that is, that I don't know. But anyway, really enjoyed hearing the stories and the way of responding to how people were, just this improving communication. I certainly can learn a lot. So I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. I hope you can join us again soon. And I know Nicole was on, but she had to leave early, but she really enjoyed the meeting this morning. And we hope we have her back as a guest. And I know you guys saw in the chat from Sylvia, remember, dues are due by the end of the month. All right, winners. Let's get to our winners today. Our best table topic speaker today is David Jones from Queen City. Congratulations, David. Our best evaluator is Lenny. Congratulations, Len. And our best speaker of the day is Mom. Congratulations to Jackie. Sorry, we have no 50-50 split club. Sorry, Dave. All right. Are there any final announcements? I know Cate put in the chat that social hour is tonight at 7 p.m. And Beth, do you have something?
I do. I just wanted to reuse the word ethereal because I do have examples from my trip to Scotland and Ireland. I couldn't find the Scotland photo easily, but I did take pictures all through our trips, and two of the pictures, one from Scotland, one from Ireland, I found very interesting when I actually went back and looked at the pictures. This is a picture from the garden outside of Blarney Castle. And this is from the fairy garden portion. I don't know if we can get it up close enough for you to see, but if you look there are little white spots throughout the tree. I did not see those white spots when I took the picture. I only saw the white spots after I went back and looked at the picture. So I think the little ethereal fairies were in the fairy garden in Ireland. I also have a picture of a ghost from Scotland.
That's an awesome picture. Thank you for sharing. All right, are there any last minute announcements?
I do believe I am the Toastmaster next week. I was informed this morning by Eric that he said, oh, by the way, you're going to be Toastmaster next week. So therefore, I will have a theme soon.
If you haven't, for folks who are wondering, because I haven't had a chance yet to put everything on the website, I did send out the email like the traditional style with the spreadsheet. If you don't have it, I could resend it. But I sent it, I think, about 10 days ago or something like that. Last Wednesday, right before, at like 2 in the morning or something before our meeting.
12
so take a look.
In the morning.
Oh, 12.
Get that on the website today.
I'm working on that. So check your website or check your email for your scheduling up through December. David, you've got something to say, or?
Yeah, I'm signaling to Eric to gavel out.
Let's Eric gavel out.
Before he gavels out, real quickly, it's 8:29. The speakers for the speakers for next week are David Licata, Samir.
No, not again. I just spoke.
If you don't want to, I made a mistake. So you can back out and someone else is able to volunteer in his.
Samir and also Eric. So if you're not prepared, pass it off, but make sure you do. Thank you. Sorry, back to our Mr. President.
I'll hang in. I'll hang in there.
We thought so.
Yeah.
Before I adjourn the meeting, I just want to say happy almost birthday to our VPE. Happy early birthday to Cate. We wish her a happy birthday. And to Phil Russell, who I know who's not here today, but his birthday was back on Monday. Mine was back on Tuesday.
Margot's was last week.
Margot was last week.
Any other September birthdays?
Anniversaries.
Ooh, happy anniversary this weekend. 44?
Friday. 44 on Friday.
Wow.
I think we should toast to it.
Close.
Yes. Toast to Larry. Oh, he's got the,
Always reasons to toast. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great
weekend. Me and adjourn. Stick around for post toasties.